Alrighty, let's see about getting rid of some of this stuff doing weird stuff. Where's that coming from? Added a whole bunch of new stuff, so doing things that I'm not used to yet. That's not it. Alright, so we still have the visualizer doing that it's not supposed to. So, maybe if we do that. Nope, that doesn't calm it down. Okay, anyway, so, hey, how you all doing tonight? Good to see everybody. And Uncle Chrome, welcome. Wabbit, Luke, whoever else is lurking out there. There's a couple of you I see. Anyway, so yeah, new stuff. Let's see, where should I begin? Well, good news. The new news is that we'll just get right into. Well, let's. There's good news. There's good news, and there's good news. Real quick, just a bunch of stuff in the jam. I brought some of the same stuff as last time, and so no need to go over a lot of that. I did bring the Op6 back in, and the wavestate is back. So let's see. I've got them racked up. Let's see if I can get the camera to go there. It looks like it's headed over there now. We'll go ahead and take camera 2 and see where it's going. Yeah, there it is. It's too dark, but there it is. Let's see if I can get it brighter real quick. Temporarily, that's this button. There we go. Yeah, the barber hit me. Amelia did the wonderful work on my lack of hair this time around. So yeah, all the hairs were cut. Some of them several times. Let's see if we can touch that focus up real quick. So the Op6 and the wavestate are now both in tall dog cases and racked up here, which has caused some other rearrangement. Yeah, point a flashlight at it. Like I said, did some rearrangement and actually a lot of rearrangement. So everything's not quite back together. But there's a stream. Got to do a stream. So this is what it is. I think the wavestate's too loud, isn't it? Back that off. So anyway, wavestate's back in. Op6. So these guys are racked in the tall dog double rack thing. That caused me to have to do some machine shop work and modify the stand that everything over here is sitting on. Let's see, if you don't mind a quick camera move, we will go to, what shot is it now? I don't even know. Too many shots. Let's try this one. So every time we rearrange, you get a new synth. Okay, so every time I get a new synth, I rearrange, which leads to the news that the multi-poly is, the multi-poly. You had the PTZ alert queued up, didn't you, Wabbit? So the it's not going to. There it is. The multi-poly is finally incoming. So that makes me pretty glad. I'm pretty excited about that. Hopefully it'll be here. I don't have an actual tracking date on it yet. It wasn't ready before I walked in here. Of course, I was a little distracted, hanging out with the good Symptoms of Reality folks. That was a lot of fun tonight, as always. So shout out to them. And so anyway, hanging out over there, and so let some prep kind of fall. I was also making some last minute changes to graphics. Multi-poly. Jeez. Okay, I can see we're gonna have one of those nights tonight. Especially with Luke doing Dirty Dancing tonight. So anyway, so that's coming in, and I'm looking forward to that. Other changes here. Autocorrect Lebo. Yeah. Oh, jeez. Um, we're just going to head right down that pathway, aren't we? So another big change, and let's see if I put this in the right spot. I've been threatening to do it. Camera, go ahead, drive over there, camera. Here's another PTZ alert, folks. We're going to go here. New table over here. So the Playpen is active and working, and right now I've got this guy in there, which is I don't know if I'm hearing it. Oh, yeah, you're probably hearing it because I don't have earbuds in right now. So anyway, the Cobalt's working right now, and that's a fun thing. I'm always going to talk about gear, Wabbit. I mean, that's all there is. Cobalt 5S, yeah. So this is a neat thing about this guy. As the camera drifts out of focus. Let's see. I want cam 1 and 2 up, don't I? Boom. So the neat thing about this, I was fooling around because I'm in this kind of in this kind of mode of wanting to know what it is that I'm going to be able to drag with me easily and in a very portable manner if I want to go to a jam, like we do around here now. And this is a pretty neat little combo because, jeez, the God, the Cobalt can be USB bus powered, and it's sound designing from the front panel is good. It's not as bad as one would think, considering how little control it is and how tiny the screen is. But it's better with their app. So what I learned over the last weekend, anyway, last couple of days, is that God, the whole 9 yards. Is that this little old ancient Chromebook that I'm running there can power itself and the Cobalt 5S for like 5 hours on its own internal battery, and this is an ancient Chromebook. I mean, it's so that's actually a little portable powerhouse, which is pretty cool, and it sounds good. So anyway, UC might see this combo at the next jam. We shall see. So anyway, but that those two things, the one with the multi-poly coming and the clan sledge. What's the tartan for that? Okay, we're going to go there. What's the tartan? Someone's got to get the right tartan. We'll get the right kilts done, and we'll do it. Okay, if we're going to do it. We're going to do it right. And no, if you're using the kilt properly, Wabbit, there's no sledging involved. So anyway, so there's another thing, something with blood. Okay, the one thing that I have wanted to have in my synth collection for a long time is, let's see if I get this right, is one of these guys. And there's one for sale for a reasonable price. Hey Jeff, welcome. Please bring some order to this chaos quickly, please, because it's going downhill fast here. We're only 10 minutes into the talking part of the stream. So anyway, I start to wonder. I've wanted one of these for a long time, and like I said, one is for sale at a very reasonable price. It does not have jaggy edges like the graphic that you're seeing. This was thrown together very quickly while I was watching another stream and doing some other stuff. So anyway, you know, it's like with the multi-poly here, with the Cobalt 5S back in rotation, so to speak. You know, it's one of those kind of things. Do I need one of these? Do I need an UltraNOVA? And then the other thing, you know, of course, the UltraNOVA and the mkIII have exactly the same synth engine. Hanaya, welcome. I have not. I don't believe I don't believe you've been here before. If you have, I'm sorry, but welcome. Or sorry to have missed you before. Anyway, welcome. So you know, it's like, do I need this? I want this, but do I need it? You know, I have the way I see it. I have, you know, probably one more purchase in me this year. Does anyone really need an UltraNOVA? Well, so that's the thing. I don't know. I don't know if I do or not. You know, and I've got Mini Freakin' software. I've sitting over there. I've got a Micro Freak. So I'm not probably not, you know, up for Micro Freak or Mini Freak hardware. Let's see, autofocus is drifting. How are the Nova different from the Peak? In pretty much every way. The Nova is a class. The Nova series is a classic virtual analog synth, albeit with lots of with a huge number of modulation options. The Peak and the Summit have much different oscillators. Hey, my first car was a Pinto, all right? And I survived it. I'm here to talk about it. So anyway, the Peak and the Summit have a completely different kind of oscillator. They've got different sources and directions of modulation, and so they're vastly different animals. Mine was a 74. And no, they did not sound like Novas. Pintos did not sound like Novas at all. More and not even like a Vega either, for that matter. So just couldn't get the mono only. I've never used one of the never used a Mofo, or tried one. Yeah, well, so we could get into a discussion of classic automobiles, if you'd like. There were a couple different generations of Novas, same with Mustangs until you get to about 68, and 68, 69 when they came out with the Mach 1. Those things could snap your head off. And the underrated car in that era / lineup was the Maverick. So anyway, we'll move past cars and yeah. Just pipping on this end. Okay, not the car. All right. So the now we're gonna get into details. All right, there you go. My uncle had a Nova. I can't remember what the year was that he had that after he had his Chevelle. And that Chevelle was an awesome car. I really liked that. The Nova, okay. I traded my Pinto for a Maverick. Yeah. So I got opinions about Ford right now, and you know, which is not really. This is not really time for that discussion. I don't guess. We could do it offline somewhere, but. The mkIII and the Peak, yes, the mkIII or Nova, the whole Nova series, because the mkIII and the UltraNOVA have exactly the same synth engine. The only difference is the number of controls and size of the keys, essentially. and you know, the peak and the summit. And Luke, actually, you can talk better about those than I can. Um, and because I mean, you've got Summit there at your place, and the Peak and Summit use the FPGA oscillators, and they're just a whole different realm of instrument. Um, but there's a kind of a classic, you know, virtual analog sound about the Nova series that I've always really liked. The question to me becomes, with the, you know, with the Cobalt pack, or using the Cobalt, or using, because the other reason I was thinking about the Nova was that another, it could be a drag around synth. It's not very expensive, you know, and so it could be a good drag around synth. Um, I don't know that. I don't know how much I'm going to drag the multi-poly around. Probably, I'll probably take it out some. The multi-poly is another virtual analog. All synths are good synths. Um, I'm not. I don't know that you. I don't would say you were pooping on the Novas per se. They are an older series. Um, because Oxford and Cambridge filters, so it's posh, posh, posh. um, well, there's a ton of third-party presets for both. Um, you know, for both the Nova series and for the Peak and Summit. So I mean, that's, you know, I tend to not buy a lot of presets. I tend to like to do my own sound design whenever possible. The the bright colors of the Cobalt in the background are fooling the autofocus on this camera. So let me real quick drop it into manual. There we go. So that shouldn't drift as much. The multi-poly is, I'm excited because it finally shipped today after a little bit of confusion in the shipping world. And the confusion in the shipping world really, you know, is not out of line for that kind of thing. Um, and yes, it shipped. It shipped. And it's that's right. You've got a Peak too. That's right. You've got a Peak. So you were playing it the other day. Um, yeah, the multi-poly shipped, and you know, I knew when I ordered it, I was like the 10th person in the 10th actual person in order in line. And after set-asides and the other things, only 8 actually went out the door or so. With, you know, so now I was number 2. Once they, and it turns out the rest of the shipment got split, leaving the port, between the port um, and Sweetwater. And I'm guessing because mine was on a truck in the parking lot, or nearly there, on the way, while the others were going out the door in the first shipment. And that's really not uncommon for something like that to happen. You know, I could do a whole discussion on shipping things from Asia and how things get here from Asia, but it's a thing. I will probably be, yeah, we'll see. We'll see how far along I am with it. No, I do not abuse things if I can help it. I may abuse my listeners' ears on occasion, but. So, you know, it doesn't, Amazon Prime wouldn't have made any difference. What happens, I'll real quick talk about shipping from Asia. So when things ship from Asia, they obviously get loaded, and they come by ship, and it's 5 weeks on the water roughly. And then however long it takes to get across the country from the West Coast port, usually either SeaTac or Port of Los Angeles are the 2 big ones. I don't want to know, Wabbit. I don't want to know. Oh, hey Tao, how are you? Good to see you. Thank you. The Eternian, hey, good to see you. So when things get loaded on a container, all, they're trying to fill the container. So if they've got, and the people packing the container, they don't know or care what's in the boxes. All they know is that they need to go in containers and get on the water to the good old US of A. And so if they've got 1,000 multi-polys and 50 of them fit in this container and the other 950 fit in the other container, that's how it goes. So the 2 containers arrive, get dropped onto trailers and or train, depending on where they're going, head across the country to wherever it is they're supposed to be. Now, at this point, the 2 containers are no longer necessarily connected to each other. They could be at different points in a train. They are obviously on different trucks. So off across the country they go. They arrive at different times for all the various reasons, and they get unloaded in whatever order they get stacked up. So Sweetwater knew that my multi-poly was there, but it wasn't in the warehouse yet. It hadn't moved inside. So, after talking with my rep, found out, yes, it's either 5 miles away from the warehouse or in the parking lot at the warehouse. As soon as it got unloaded, it went out the door. So that's all there is to that. And that is the nature of shipping large quantities or any quantities of things from Asia. It is even worse when you don't have enough stuff to fill a container, because you have to wait. Your stuff has to wait until the container that it's going into gets filled. So that's that. Anyway, it will be here. Now I'm because if it had been in his car, I'd have taken it home and I never would have seen it. So he's as much of a synth geek as I am, maybe more. Actually, his studio is I've seen pictures of his studio. I haven't seen it in person yet, but I've seen pictures of his studio, and it's pretty impressive. So anyway, that's on the way. Don't know if the I don't know if I'm going to push the button on that UltraNOVA or not. It's a thing. Because the other thing is, as I've said on the Discord, that some people may have seen, I think I've got one more purchase in me this year, and that may be about it for a long time, depending on how things go in a lot of different areas. So, there's things, and one of the things that's in my list, or has been in my list, has been the Move. The Move does what the Move does, and people are still complaining that it doesn't do what they think, what people think that it ought to do, as opposed to what Ableton said it's going to do. And then, as Wabbit says, there's this, and this is another thing that's getting a lot of angst over what it does or doesn't do. No, this is Move. It's MOVE, not MOOV. That would be Mauve. But it's definitely, like you said, like we saw, it's not. It's not mauve. It's the wrong color. So this definitely has my gas up, because it meets a lot of requirements for something that I might want to be able to do. And let's see. Well, so that's the thing, and that's a problem, Jeff. That it's not. No, you're right. So 2 points here. One, we often don't get an option to try things before we buy anymore, and I think that's some folks are lucky enough to have a decent synth or electronic music store near them. I'm not one of them. Has he got the synth already? Because the synth is brand new. I think he's got a Play. Yeah, but you know, it's a pain in the butt. You know, you've got you know, and return policy fine, but you gotta ship it back. The shipping's on you at that point. You know, Guitar Center around here, Jeff, is worthless, quite frankly. And even my other close by Synth Emporium or Music Emporium, their keyboard and synth department is kind of bleh. Chuck's keyboard department is not what it was. You know, Bill's is terrible. Sorry. Bill's is still stuck about 20 years ago, you know, the guitar centers around here are worthless. You know, every one of them. The one down to the south of you, used to be pretty good, but it's now barely a showroom. You know, and you know, I like going to Chuck's. It's fun to hang out and kibitz with people down there. It's not fun to go to Bill's anymore. I'm sorry. You know, it's like a, well, I don't know. It's not been fun going to Bill's, and for me anyway, in a long time. And part of it has to do with folks who used to work there no longer being there. So there's that. Guitar Centers took all the synths down, bought ESQ1 from Chuck's in the 80s. Tao, are you in the area here? Yeah, I know. Bill passed away. Chuck passed away. Buy all the synths. Buy more synth. I didn't realize you were in Maryland. Oh, cool. Another Marylander. Yes. We'll chat later. Unless I knew it and didn't know it, which is entirely possible. I didn't, unless I knew you were here and didn't know you were here. Because, you know, with me and my brain, that's entirely possible. So, cool. I've dinged with some useless unknown text. The texts have been off the hook lately. So anyway, rolling back to an earlier point that Luke put up, that the Move is not a synth. No, the Move is not a synth. The Move is unto itself. Yeah, I'm running out of ability to do that without, you know, really causing hardship. So I'm not going to do that. I don't want to cause any hardship. It's a sketch pad, exactly, and it's a fantastic sketch pad. It happens to have a couple of synths in it. It happens to have some. Ableton Live control functions, albeit a little twitchy. And by twitchy, I don't mean bad like bad function. It's just kind of not quite what someone who's really used to Ableton would expect necessarily. And yeah, it happens to have a couple of synths in it. So I really have to think about, you know, what is it that I want to have that instrument do, and, you know, with the things that I think are coming, I don't want to wait too long. So there's that. So anyway, so that was that. What's the next graphic? Entertainments with yeah. So Luke, you've got a Move, and I know you're going to do a video on it, but what's the the 2-comment take on it in your opinion? Yes, I want it all, Luke. You know that. You know, it's like I want it all. So and we also end up with another, you know, possible redundancy kind of thing. I mean, you know, I've got the multi-poly's got, so just one or two quick sentences, your quick take on the Move. Besides, it's a sketchpad, which we know, and you know, you've been fooling with one for a week or so now. I just, you know, what's the knee-jerk reaction, I guess is where I'm going. And because you know me. And I know it's like one of the things that I see while you're typing, that I see the Move's possibilities are to do what I wanted the OPZ to be able to do when I tried that. And you know, it's there's all the interactivity with, you know, with Ableton Live, that actually works. So Onyx, welcome. Good to see you. Tesla implant synth Wi-Fi or Bluetooth connection. You know, that would be yeah, okay, duh. Anyway, light bulb just turned on, so you can call me Fred. And see, the Move is making music with a really nice pen and fancy sheet of parchment and writing words. It's not necessary, it's a luxury. Extremely enjoyable luxury. Okay. Okay. Gotcha. So, frankly, you know, we could say that a lot of this stuff is a luxury. And Tal, we can all chat on we can all chat offline about, you know, where, and because I don't even I mean, you I guess you got to be there all the time. Is that the deal? Which is fine. I mean, you know. Anyway, it's always fun to get together when we can. Yeah, it's all luxury, but I like it. It's, you know, and I do, though, sometimes have to keep a portion of it in perspective as to, you know, I've got all this great stuff, but what of it do I actually need? If all hell broke loose and I had if all hell broke loose and I had to get up and go, you know, what would have to come with me? And you know, and it's yeah, I got one of those too, Luke, or not, as the case may be. You know, and it boils down to things that things that I would have a hard time letting go of, frankly, are, you know, the laptop. I could live without the desktop if I had to. So the laptop, and equal kind of, for me, equal kind of necessity would be, I keep the I take the Polybrute and the Control S, and all the rest of this, if I had to, could be stored away or gone or whatever, and I would be reasonably happy. Shit, bust a move. Oh, jeez. Says the man whose app disappeared. Did I miss something? No, my app's here. Sammy just asked for my feature. Yeah, I don't think I'd even ask Donna. I just, that would not be, I don't think I'd ask her. Wouldn't even bother. Because she's got her own thing going on. Oh, that was for Wabbit about iOS. Okay. Gotcha. Yes, that would be a thing. So that's a discussion on another that happens periodically on another Discord. Is the concept of using iPads for music and trusting them or not. Wabbit, you're on that Discord as well. And it's like I would do it, but I'd also have a second iPad with me. Just that way it goes. When I used when I when I gigged and had an iPad on stage with me, there's always at least one spare, usually two, just in case. Now I didn't use it as much for sounds. I used it for control, but I don't on stage. I don't trust much of anything, so there's always a backup for the backup. As far as apps apps disappearing or evaporating in this case, the modal app right now, it's like it's hard to, I don't know if it's actually available at this point. So if you buy a new modal synth, I don't know that you can actually get the app anymore. I know you can't get the PC version because their website is saying back soon and has been saying back soon for ever since the last purchase or whatever's happened with them. So if you want to run the modal app on a PC or a Mac, you better hope someone has a copy of the app for you. I did just re-download it for Android to load it on one of the Chromebooks. So I know it's still available in the Android store. It may still be on the Apple App Store for iOS devices. Don't know, but anyway. It's like with apps, with music apps, music software in general, especially older stuff. There's a point when it just stops working too, and the company has to decide or whether they're going to update it or not. I was actually I didn't. That'd be a great combination. Microwave and Fugue Machine. Fugue Machine is a lot of fun and it's a neat little app, and having that drive Microwave, that'd be pretty good. So I was updating I put the wavestate in the Tall Dog case, got everything wired up, and went out to went to load the editor, because I've had the editor, I've been keeping the editor up, and I've got the two plugins, the VST. I went to load the editor, and it griped about the firmware on the synth being too old. So I went to dig around over to the Korg site and downloaded the updater and ran the updater, and the updater said, nope, too old. You've got to do, and so off to dig around in basically undocumented territory as far as the Korg website is concerned, and find the bootloader for it, so that you could I could shove a new operating system into the little Raspberry Pi in there, and finally got the thing updated. It took over an hour. It was not fun, and it was yet another chapter in my love-hate relationship with Korg. But it's been going on since 1990 or something like that. So anyway, let's see, where were we? So we talked about that. We over talked about that. Getting back to synth guitars sometimes. Where's my notes? Here's my notes. Okay, so and Wabbit's going to learn guitar from the dude down the street. That's cool. I pick on a guitar every once in a while. I'm terrible at it, and so I have stayed away from iOS apps mostly. I loaded up on them for a while, and then it's just like, you know, it wasn't doing a lot of music on the iPad just wasn't doing it for me. Wasn't having fun. So, hey, thank you for coming by, RSTU. You're going to be RSTU here. Thank you for coming. So anyway, I do want to talk about a couple of things. I'm going to punch that button though, just because. And I like the Jazzmasters. The Jazzmasters and the Mustangs I like. So you're going to bring this back around to cars. Tune them so one finger is all you need. So, you know, that's the cigar box guitar tuning. Tune it all to open G. Slide up and down. You're done. Nice and easy. So we had a thing, a little discussion was going on. I'm going to kind of transition out of talking about gear, and we're going to recently Blackhole went on sale. You could get it for like 29 bucks. No sponsorship here, but anyway, it was for sale, on sale. A bunch of people got it, and some people are having some difficulty. Or at least one person is. So I thought I'd take a look at it. The problem that they mentioned that they had was seemed a little strange to me. So I thought that I might give it a try and see if I could duplicate the problem. And I don't know. The problem was not installing for this person, and honestly, as much as I dislike the iLock thing, it worked. You know, it did give me some grief the first couple of tries to use it in complete control. In the native with the NKS compatibility is not quite there, even though they say it's compatible. No, the problem that was coming up was using it with an external instrument in Ableton Live. I want to, and the problem they had, they said they could put it in the chain and not they couldn't hear it. So I'm going to bring up, let's see, I've got, okay, so we've got that. Notice, Luke, I've been having some little tuning creep on the Take 5 lately, which has been a bit disturbing. But what I'm going to do, let's see if I can make this work. I'm going to press, is that what I want? That's the one I want. Okay, so, but the camera's looking at the wrong place. Okay, PTZ alert. PTZ alert. We're going to go here. Or try to. There we go. I'm going to come over to the Take 5. I'm going to turn the internal effects off, or at least the internal reverb off. No, it's not under event. Did not move it around the room. It's been in its usual spot here where it has. I did not move it around at all when I did all the rest of the work in here. The stuff here on this stand stayed right where it was. And the other thing I checked to be sure too was that I had the vintage knob turned all the way down. I made sure I had tuning centered up, no LFOs driving pitch, any of that kind of stuff. It was off by a full half step. Because I'm playing along the other day and like, what the heck is going on here? So anyway, nothing in here has changed. The vent, if you, I mean, there's a vent and it can blow at it, but it's not enough that it's caused any problems before. So anyway, so let's go ahead and grab a copy of Black Hole, and we'll drop it on the track here. There it is. And I'm just got the default patch loaded. And actually, so let's listen to it dry. Turn the Take 5 up. That patch is nasty dry. Take 5 is mad that I didn't bring it over. Yeah, that's what it is. That's exactly what it is. So let's go ahead and turn Black Hole on. Better not go any further with that lick. So I guess there's going to have to be more investigation. I was wondering if there was actually any kind of problem because I hadn't tried it yet with an external synth, and but it seems to be reverbing like crazy, like one would expect. What does the electric bolt slider thing actually do? I have no idea. You can move it over there. Or over here. I don't know. Luke will be saying, in a moment, Luke will be saying RTFM. But I don't know what that control does, honestly. I don't know a lot about it. I've only had it for... I bought it, I loaded it up. Yes. Okay, so morphs between settings. Okay, I love ribbon controllers that morph between settings. So okay, well that's cool. I will learn how to set that up at some point and then play with it, because I would betcha that it can be modulated. That's what. Yeah. So you put a modulator on there, let her slide back and forth. How did they handle that in hardware, I wonder? Jeff, you've got a hardware Black Hole, right? Do they have this function on there? That is a nice reverb. And there's an LFO. Okay, there's probably an LFO. Okay, all right. So let's do it. Let's slide over here, and we'll crank the gravity up. Because I know what. Turn that up too. Ooh, 6 a.m. That's too early, Luke. I have an early day tomorrow too, but the first 2 hours of it's hour of it anyway is on a train, so I can sleep on the train for part of it. Luke, thanks for stopping by. Good to see you. We will chat more later, and have a great night. Have a good meeting tomorrow. Hey, Will, good to see you. Thanks, Luke. All right, so I've got this patch kind of set over here. Oh, Starship, excellent. Oh, so you're gonna be playing with the Starship while I'm trying to go to Arlington. That's not fun. Okay, so I've got this set up in here. So if I then slide over here, oh yeah, it just turns. It's a real morph. I love it. It's an actual real morph. That's fantastic. Cool. I'm going over here. I'm going to turn the mix down a little bit. Nice, nice, nice. What would have been really cool, or does it do this? Oh yes, I bet you it does. Can I turn this? Probably not. I'll have to read the instructions, but yeah, it's just, and so Will's playing catch up. So click a button, set the knobs, and unclick to save. Okay. Oh, okay, I get you, I get you, I get you. Cool, cool, I see. So if I come over here to set the knob, come over here, set it here, I can set my, roll some of the high end off, a little more feedback, save that side, I can come over here to this side, make whatever changes I want. Do that, and now I'm free to navigate. Very cool. Well, that's very, very cool. Interesting. I like that. I like that. Definitely worth the $29 on sale. And all the plugins work like that. Even, how about the big, there's the big plugin that does everything. The do everything version. Does that have the same function? Do you know? Because, now that I've actually had to install iLok again and make all that work, I'm, in for a penny, in for a pound. Gotcha. Okay, so, well, this is cool. So now I've learned something about this that I didn't know, which is very exciting. Like it when I can learn stuff. And cool. So that's that. So I wanted to have a discussion. Luke ran away because Luke dropped a comment on in the Symptoms of Reality stream earlier this evening, and made a Muse versus Polybrute comment, and I said we could revisit that, and then he had to run. So maybe we'll come back to that another time, or not. I think I said about as much as I want to say about that. Anyway, okay, so we got that. I'm looking at my notes here. You're looking at the screen. Here, you can look at me, look at my notes. And you have crystal. So, okay. So what do they have in? I'm a sucker for shimmer reverbs. It's my thing. I love shimmer reverbs. Which one of theirs would be a shimmer? Because I'll put it on the list to buy. Software I'll continue to buy after this year because there's no, shimmer verb is, so they have something called shimmer verb. Okay, cool. I will, because you can pick them all up separately. So I don't need all of them, but very cool. All right, that goes on the shopping list. Interesting. Little notes popping up on the iPhone. All right. Well, cool. Maybe you know what? I don't know. I don't know who did the first shimmer. I've been liking. Which one have I been using? The reverb I've been using, the shimmer reverb I've been using the most has been. Well, I was using one that I really liked, but it was using so much processor. I ended up just taking it off and not using it. I've got a couple nice ones in hardware, but I don't know what I'm looking at my computer screen now, and you're not. I hadn't bought the Valhalla one. I was thinking about buying the Valhalla and hadn't gotten to it. And so Arturia, a couple of new Arturia. I bought the Arturia FX collection recently, and there's a couple of reverbs in there that get shimmery, but I wouldn't necessarily call them a shimmer reverb. So the thing with shimmer reverbs, and like anything, is it's easily overused, and to me, a lot of people put it up front, and to me, that's not really where a reverb belongs. Mostly, I mean, I cranked up the Blackhole just to say that we could hear it, and the problem that the other person was having was they could not hear it, either used with an external instrument or as a send effect. So that's the point. That's the point. It's to me, exactly, the shimmer should be almost subliminal. It's just a perception that it's there. And if you listen to some of the stuff that I did, not this past January for Jamuary, but the year before, 23, I use shimmer and almost either a particle delay into a reverb or a shimmer verb on pretty much everything almost the entire month. And some of it you can just barely tell it's there. And that's, to me, the point. It just gives a little texture and a little atmosphere. Some people just, whatever it is they've got, whatever reverb, whatever echo, whatever delay, whatever phase shift, chorus thing they've got, it's got to be up to 11. And that, at that point, you can't really hear the instrumentation. You can't hear what else is going on. It becomes well overproduced, and that's too much. Like any effect, like sidechain compression, which it should just pop down enough to let the kick punch, but not suck the life out of everything else that's playing. And I know that sucking kind of thing is a part of certain kinds of music, and I think that should be accomplished in a different way. I have after many years of messing around with doing sound both live and studio, I of course have my opinions on the way things should be done, as we all do. I would prefer, in my case, to make space for the thing that needs to come through in other ways, either to don't say that. I'm sure it's leave the sucking to the performer. Exactly. Make the mix should sound great. I prefer to make the space else in other ways, either with subtle EQ, with subtle with arrangement, keep the things out of each other's way, and then just a touch of sidechain. And it gives it just that. A lot of people are doing these huge sidechain drops, and it's just like no, it when it starts sucking and breathing like that, it's not. It doesn't sound musical to me. And when I show people this, they're like, "Yeah, that's what we want." Yeah, but that's not what you did. Everyone's like, "Oh, we got to do the sidechain. We got to suck the life out of it with the sidechain." And then they're like, everyone's complaining about their sidechain compression, and and you need a more holistic approach. Anyway, that's that. I don't know how we got on that tangent. Well, I was people lathering too much effect on things. That's where it was. When you get to be my age, your mind goes in 6 directions at once. You don't know which direction you started in. Inverted envelopes, yeah, that's another way to do it. And that's kind of sort of what a sidechain is to some extent. You're just using an audible input to kick off that an inverted envelope. It's just a different way of triggering the envelope. It's really what it gets down to. And what I should have a sidechain going on this to keep my voice from running the visualizer like it is, because that's making me crazy. Oh, that's what I forgot to mention. I've changed the visualizer. I pulled last week the Chromebook was still doing the visualizer. This is the Eyesy, and this is not actually the preset that I was going to use to do this tonight. I've got several snapshots. That's not the one either. This is the one I had planned to use. It's very trippy and hippie. Pulls all kinds of funny colored dots. So this, I haven't gotten into any of the programming or adding anything other than what's in the factory at this point. I've just been kind of fooling around with the factory settings, and I'm pretty happy. I will say that at some point next year, if things don't go too crazy, I am going to probably pick up one of the Entropy Sons Recursion Studios. I do really like that, and I'll combine the two or use them in different ways. But this is a great little box, and yet another Raspberry Pi in my collection of stuff in the studio. So yeah, I've got everything, most everything I've got that I've selected through my little snapshots and presets that I've chosen are all audio. Audio controlled in some way. This thing can also take MIDI in. I haven't even started to play with that. Let's see, what's this? I got this one too. This one is and again, these are like favorites. This worked a little better. I was using Luke's stream the other day to do tests with it, which was kind of fun. So they do different things when I'm actually playing. And you got like the oscilloscope thing going, and this one's kind of cool if you can see it. Let me take myself out, and so we can see just the visualizer. It's kind of cool. I like that one some too. And this one's not working the way it was working when it was being fed different stuff yesterday, so I'm not sure what's up with that. It does not have a waterfall plot. I'd have to move to something else for that. I could probably program one. I just haven't gotten. I have to learn Python, and then I have to learn Pygame, and then maybe I can program this. So in my copious spare time, and I'll get to it eventually. Oh, this one's kind of cool too. It just kind of fills in with horizontal and vertical lines in different colors as things go on. And I've got this set up in like storage mode, so that for most of these, so that it basically fills up the screen and writes over itself. Or they call it retention. So we'll go back to this one. Yeah, this one. So if I turn the retention on, it's off on this particular one. With retention on, it'll actually fill up the whole screen with the audio affected lines. So pretty cool thing. So if you're doing it in a computer, you don't necessarily need one that's a plug-in to the actual software. Although if you're looking for one that can plug in as a VST, Imaginando, I think it is, or Imaginando, yeah, they've got a nice one called VS. And it works very well as a plug-in, but I was trying not to have. I wanted to have an external box to do it. Was my was my idea. I don't like piling a lot of things up in the computer because then when something goes wrong and pulls everything else with it, you're kind of stuck. So kind of broke that out. So that's that. Let's see. I am out of things that were on my mind. Believe it or not, I've run out of things to talk about tonight. I didn't have a lot really planned anyway. It's been a little busy this week, and the next week or so is going to be pretty busy as well. But anything anybody wants to talk about while we're chatting. Otherwise, I'll make it an early night. But any thoughts? Okay, I will probably start playing some music then, and because that's the part that's fun for me anyway. Well, it's all fun. I mean, I love sitting here running my mouth and chatting with you guys. I really like really fun to do things in multi-poly. Multi-poly. I can't afford a real monopoly. I'd have to get the Behringer one for that, or Behringer. Unfiltered audio stuff. Play that funky 6-bit. I can add some op6 or play some op6. I don't have a particularly funky patch loaded up on it. So what RSTU? What is? I'm not familiar with the unfiltered audio. So enlighten us, or me anyway. Maybe these other guys probably already know about it. I'll have to try and remember looking to see some of what they've got. I said I'm not familiar with them. There is so much software. There's so much stuff out there. It's impossible to keep track with everybody. And I've been trying to kind of simplify to some extent. And I just as I said earlier, I just bought all this Arturia stuff. My gosh, I mean, there's a zillion of them in here. Some of them are absolutely gorgeous too. As far as experimental stuff for me, let's do this. Let's pop over here to op6 land where I am. We'll take Blackhole off of there. Or I'll just turn it off. Even in simple as like Arturia stuff. Let's see. Let's see. In Arturia's stuff, we've got they've got some wonderful effects plugins. I'm just loving some of this stuff. I had a couple before I bought the entire box. Refract is interesting. It's just one of the most interesting plugins I played with. And I haven't even started. Like I said, I've loaded each one of them up once. Refract I've had for a while. And that was one of the reasons that I bought this, was their bus compressor, and I wanted to try some of the new stuff. I've been using the isotope stuff, and it's been fine, or been really good. And I didn't want bandpass. That's what I wanted. Oh, let's see here. I mean, this is fun because you can get these weird amounts of everything, you know. So if I were going to put it on every track, I would do it as a send effect. I mean, that would be my way. That way, I'm not unless I'm doing something different. Unless each one's getting a little different, you know, a little bit of a different treatment. Simple. Okay, let's do that. We can do that. Let's see. What do I have simple here? Oh, I know what I have simple here. Let's hop over to SQ80. What all do I have on that at this point? I'm going to bring this up full screen so I can see it a little better. And what do I have on here? What did I do here? SQ80V. I want to drive that from there, and I want to stop the sequence that's running on it. Which will take it a moment. What even is this? This is the. Oh, okay. So this is one of the new Arturia ones that I got. But if I go into SQ80, me being the ensonic dude that I am, let's see. Close that. There we go. Let's make this nice, something relatively simple. Grab a bass. The RE201 is brilliant. I love that. I absolutely love that thing. So it should be Control S, Control S. Oh, I gotta turn the volume up. That'll do it. Okay, why is this not controlling? What did I do wrong? We are stopped. We are enabled. We are set for the correct controller. Okay, what is the matter here? All right, just for giggles and grins. Why is it not working? What's going on? Control S, all channels. Send to C. That's where I want that to go. Not seeing any MIDI. Oh, I know why. I think I see why. That's why. Let us turn that off. Turn that off, and turn that off. And there it is. I guess I've got a bunch of delay set up on this patch, or is set up on this patch too. Oh, let's see. Find something. Go back where I was. I think this one. Yeah, that's got a bunch of effect on it as well. I'm trying to find something clean. And I don't necessarily want to completely reset this. Yeah, everything's got a bunch of... Oh, the delay's still turned on. Dummy. Okay. Back to here. Nah, don't like that either. Oh, let's see. Something. Yes, I was trying to. It's like what packages do I buy into? So I've got all of Native Instruments Complete. Mostly, and I went that route initially because I really like their controllers a lot better than pretty much anything else. Um, and then I ended up adding the. I was using the Analog Lab stuff just to, with a couple of full versions. Ended up buying the entire Shooting Works after I bought the mkIII controller because Native Instruments didn't have everything working quite right yet in the Control S. But just recently the latest update of the Control S, the control now over even Arturia, with Arturia's updates to everything being fully NKS compatible, or most everything being fully NKS compatible. I'm I don't really need the mkIII. The mkIII has actually become redundant. I don't have the full guitar rig. I've just got the version that comes with Complete, which is partial. I decided that for my full my full all-out stuff, I decided actually to go down the Arturia route, especially like I said, now that everything works so well in. If I had this loaded up in Complete Control, I'd be able to show that all this stuff now actually works on the Control S with full control of the plugin from the keyboard itself, which is just, I mean, I love that because I can work just like I'm working with a synth, and that's what I really wanted. And that even translates out not just to Arturia and Native Instruments, but UHE's stuff, Diva and Hive 2. They're in there, and so what was I was going to throw something on here. Oh, I was going to throw like Refract on here. That's what I wanted. So with the latest versions of Complete stuff, they're making a lot more of the stuff so that you can resize it. But Native Instruments have chosen to write their software in such a way that they're using CPU for audio processing or using your computer for audio processing and making it easier to deal with the graphics. I think in today's day of powerful or much more powerful GPUs and being able to offload the graphics side easily to a separate processor, I don't know that they need to do that as much. And so they're starting to make that transition, but it's going to take them time. Whereas other folks, other manufacturers have gone straight down that route. Like if you look at, in Kontakt now, Kontakt makes full GPU usage, and with version 8, and a lot of other stuff that they added in version 8. And so when you fire up an instrument that's written for version 8, there is virtually no difference in CPU usage from Kontakt 8 with no synth loaded idling versus the synth that you loaded. And you know, so they're working on this. Quite frankly, I think the best synth that Native Instruments came out with was not actually one of their own initially, but it's what got me interested in Native Instruments and knowing about Native Instruments was Absynth. Absynth still is an incredibly powerful synth. The user interface is wonky at best, but it was cool for the time. But you know, a lot of the software synthesizers that we have now, quite frankly, owe their lineage to Absynth. It was, you know, one of the first to do most of the things that we consider normal in a in a VST instrument these days. The GUI. So the thing about Absynth is it's got two GUIs. You know, it's got the weird one that we all know and you know saw. But if you can go into a it's not pretty, but it's got a separate UI that lets you tweak everything without having to go through the weird graphic gobbledygook that it's got. I got very used to it very quickly when I first bought it, and when it first came out, I actually beta tested the software. So you know, one of the two products for Native Instruments that I beta tested a million years ago, and you know, so I got very used to it and found it very and I found it very easy to work with. And it, for a while anyway, was kind of a benchmark for me as far as what a synth should be, software synth should be like. It's still a great synth, but it has certainly been surpassed by a lot of other things out there on the market now. I think probably in my mind anyway, one of the best soft synths out there right now, out right now is Pigments. You know, it's one of my two or three favorites. If I want to do something really quick, my go-to is Vital. But if I want to get into a detailed sound design, I'll often go for, and I need it to be not an emulation. Let's put it that way. Then I usually go to Pigments. I never could get into Serum. I tried it, and it never really did anything for me. My background in synthesis goes way back. So I learned synthesis on a big Moog modular at college, and so that's I came in with a modular understanding, and that's really what I originally wanted to go was go into modular, but the cost was just outrageous, still is. Modular synths and boats are the same. Are the same. They're holes into which you throw money. Yeah, I have a lot of synths. That I don't use very often or at all. I mean, there's some of them just sitting there taking up disk space. I got to be able to use Yeah, same with me, Tal. I studied it before I could afford it. I got to use the Moog because I was helping to wire the new electronic music studio at the college, and the fellow who they had hired in to do it was a good friend of mine, and so he said, "Hey, you want to help on this job?" And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely. This will be fun." So I went in and helped him wire the electronic music studio, and I got paid obviously, but I also, as part of that, was that they were like, you can use the Moog anytime you want as long as you're a student here. So I would I'd schedule time just like anybody else. I had the the ability to schedule time, and I go up there and play. And so my first electronic music noises were the big Moog and a 4-track tape deck, and I loved it. It was fantastic. And unfortunately, I could never. For years, it was years before I could afford any kind of synth. After that, and my first real synth was a Korg, and I've been I had a. That was in 1989 or something like 88, 89, somewhere in there. And I've had a love-hate relationship with Korg ever since. And the thing is that one of the things that a lot of people are, some people are, you got to have hardware, you can't have software sense, and other people are like whatever. But software synthesizers have lowered the price of entry to people, and I think that's fantastic. You can buy I have out in the other room. I have a I bought a $300 laptop. I bought it for. I bought it because I needed a quick, cheap machine that had Windows 11 on it when my father inadvertently loaded in Windows 11 on his machine, and then waited too long and couldn't roll it back off. So I bought it just so I could help him through. And I subsequently loaded Ableton Live on it, and that runs pretty well on the. It's an old it's a Ryzen 3, so it's a really absolute basic machine. But so for you can get an inexpensive computer. You can buy the base version of Ableton Live, which comes with a lot of keyboard controllers. So you buy an inexpensive keyboard controller with the free version of Ableton Live, and put Vital in there. And so for now the cost of a $300 or $400 computer and an inexpensive MIDI controller, you can get going. And so the cost of getting into electronic music these days is minimal, beyond something that you've probably already got in the house, and just Concert Mate. Oh my gosh! So my first analog synth was a Prophet 600. So I mean, it's Minilab. The Minilab Mark II is. I have one. It's over on the shelf over there, and I used it in my gigging keyboard rig for a number of years, mostly to fire off one-shots and the occasional little lead line here and there when I needed a third, to be able to play a third voice. And that only was only in a couple of songs. Mostly it was for firing off one-shots and control. And that's all that I really bought it for. I also have the new version over here, and it's really nice to be able to take that and a laptop, and it's mostly a portable rig at that point. My other laptop works really well with it. I can control most of the Native Instruments stuff with it fine. Obviously, all of the Arturia stuff with it. And that gets down into the thing that we're wondering: do I really need the Move? Cycling back to that, because I can walk out the door with a laptop and a little MIDI controller, and I don't have to worry about transferring whatever I come up with into Live later. So anyway, a decision I need to make soon, I think. But let's see, watching chat. You were the recording guy. So for me doing the recording and live sound and studio work, that was really secondary to me. I did it, and I did it. I did it professionally for 45 years, and it just but the primary thing for me was always music, always making the music. Or I've always loved sound design. It's just that is as much fun for me as actually making the music. Loaded XP30, Nord Electro 2, Electro 2. The Electro 2. That was a. There's something about the Electro 2 versus all the other Electro models that makes it's kind of special. I think it's obviously it's still got the organ sounds nailed. They Nord nailed the organ sounds early on, and the electric piano in it is fabulous. The acoustic piano not so much. But that first set of electric pianos and organs that they put in there, just fantastic. I think the piano patch came for it later, and it was fair. To me, it's worth losing. I unfortunately don't have that luxury, Tao. I can lose a little bit. I lost a bunch of money on that stupid OPZ, and so I've played on the Electros. I've played the 2, the 3, the 4, and the 5. I've not played the 6. So on the drawbars for the Electros, do you prefer the physical drawbars or the LED or the push button LED drawbars? Because you can, depending on the model, you can get them both ways. I first fooled with the first one I fooled with had the LED buttons, and I didn't like it initially, but that's because I'm an old fart, and so I like the actual drawbars, and where the push button LED thing actually shines though is when you're dance with the one you brung. So I love physical drawbars because, as a player, I like to be able to, grab a fistful of drawbars and pull a bunch of them at once. And I play the drawbars as much as I play the keyboard when I'm playing an organ. And so, to me, the LED push button arrangement didn't quite fit my playing style. What I liked about it was when you loaded a new patch and you grabbed the drawbar, it didn't you didn't get a jump. Whereas on the Nords with the drawbars, or a real Hammond, or whatever that's got real physical drawbars, even my Kronos, which had a drawbar set on it. When I grabbed the drawbars, it would jump, and I had to be. I developed a style for getting in and out of it, to work with it. But it was a trick, something I had to do, and had to think about. Whereas the LEDs, it shows you where you're going to be, and when you start pushing the buttons at the top and the bottom of the LED strip, throwing the button, when you did that, you could see what you were doing, but trying to grab a fistful of drawbars was tricky at best, and that was the only thing that I didn't like about I didn't care for about that. Yeah, and as far as grabbing those Op 6, operator faders. This is a bad patch to do this with. Let's just randomly find another patch here. What the heck? That will do. Oh, no, it won't. That was even worse. Oh. Try and find something that's reasonable. What's this do? Let's do that. And I'm going to do some PTZ action for you. Go over here into the dark. I got to do some lighting changes, obviously. There we go. You can almost see. But see, these also, I mean, these are pots, so they don't, you know, they jump. See how angry we can make this. You hear that jump as I slid that when it finally caught? I can, you know, the number of Hammonds that I've loaded on and off of stages in my career. If I never do that again, it'll be too soon. Yeah, playing the faders on here is a lot of that. So almost any classic synth is just fine emulated these days, as far as I'm concerned. All right, I'm going to when I was doing stage production management, I moved a lot of Hammonds and CP70s and, you know, all that stuff. It got to be it makes you old. Let's just say that. Let's see, what can I put? So I got that going over here. Let's throw some reverb on this. Oh, I know what else we can put on that. Oh, this will be cool. I don't have a shot that lets me show over there and that. Let's put this guy on here. Let's abuse the FM. Sounds like the birds have been left alone. Alright, so this is a good time to transition out and get into the, we'll go into the closing jam. I'll fool around with some stuff. And pretty much call it a night. Like I said, I've got an early one in the morning like some of the other folks did. So thanks, folks, for hanging out. As always, have a good time. Thanks, Paul. Thanks, Tal. Thanks, Luke and Absentia. And not sure who else is still here. A few people out there lurking in the dark. Oh, Will, thank you for coming by. And RSTU, thank you. Anybody that I missed who is still here, I do appreciate it. Off to make some noise. I'll talk to y'all later. Back here in a week, or I'll catch you on the Discords or elsewhere around the streaming world. We will see you all soon.